What I can do is add. Oh no, she was not aware. We are live. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Anushka, you are live.
Well, hello, everyone, and actually, welcome to tonight's episode. My name is Anushka Joseph, and the executive assistant at the Women Breathe Again here Holistic Center. Before we dive in today, I'd like to take a moment of silence in honor of Nancy Metaye Bowen, the vice mayor of Coral Springs, who actually left us a little too soon due to domestic violence. Let's take a few seconds to honor her life, her legacy, and all survivors of sexual and domestic violence. As we are the Women Breathe Again and we rise above trauma, and that's a trauma that's actually affecting every single person, every single woman. So we just want to take a moment to actually honor this woman's life. Thank you. And today, in honor of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we are opening a safe, grounded conversation about sexual violence, its impact, and its pathways to healing. So I am thrilled to introduce tonight's host and special guest, Dr. Margaret Reed. She is a transformational leader and trauma healing practitioner and the founder of the Women Breathe Again Holistic Center. It is the Women Breathe Again Holistic Center is a nonprofit dedicated to empowering women to heal, rise, and reclaim their lives after trauma. Dr. Reed brings a dynamic blend of clinical insight and holistic healing as a certified breathwork practitioner. She's also a psychotraumatology specialist, a holistic life coach, herbalist, and certified book writing coach. She's also a personal brand development expert and speaker, helping women turn pain into purpose and stories into platforms. Her work spans workshops, retreats, coaching programs, and transitional living programs for young adults, bridging healing and empowerment so women can not only recover, but truly thrive. Her message is simple, but yet powerful. Healing is impossible if you don't work at it. Healing is possible. Its purpose is powerful, and every woman deserves to rise above trauma. And I am honored to be her tonight, to be with her tonight. I'm introducing the wonderful Dr. Margaret Reed.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Executive Assistant. Thank you. And I would like tonight to introduce to you as we dive into the conversation of sexual assault awareness, which is this month, April, set aside for us to talk about this, to bring awareness to that one. And Anushka serves as Executive Assistant at the Women Breathe Again Holistic Center, where she supports transformative programs for women wellness, healing, and empowerment. She is dedicated to creating safe space for survivors, amplifying their voice, and helping the center fulfill its mission of ensuring women have the tools, care, and community they need to reclaim their life. We are so grateful to have her with us tonight, guiding this conversation alongside me and helping us hold space for every story that is going to be shared tonight. And so, for that, we are so grateful. Allow me tonight to introduce to you our guest. We have quite a few women here tonight. They are going to talk about themselves and introduce themselves. You will hear the stories. We will have a good time. So stay right here. Don't go anywhere. Grab your popcorn, get yourself ready because we are going to have a talk. And we are a safe space right here. What's happening here does not go outside. So we stay here, we talk, and we help women breathe again. So, with that being said, allow me tonight to introduce our Sabine de Souza. Sabine, tell us about yourself in 2 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sabine DeSource. I am the owner of DeSource Therapeutic Touch Incorporated. I provide mobile massage and skincare services, and I also do corporate chair massages. So I do for wellness initiatives or employee benefits or employee appreciation. I come into the workplace and assist in the work-life balance.
Okay, okay. And now, please introduce yourself to us, Mrs. Ray.
Hi, I am Ray Sear of Sunshine Sear. I started off as a social media influencer, connecting with people who are struggling from all walks of life. I became trauma certified as a coach as well as a spiritual life coach. And I really enjoy empowering people, overcoming limiting beliefs, turning different obstacles and challenges and finding the blessings and supporting a community so that we can grow and uplift each other.
This is amazing. Thank you so much for all the work that you do. And allow me to introduce Dr. Ann Clasimo.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well today. Away from the news that we have gotten. And my name is Dr. Nklasima. I am a mental health therapist by trade, right now a consultant. And I'm also the founder and CEO of the Jada Links Foundation, Inc., which I have created to support single moms like myself. The world couldn't be the world without women in it. And I wish society would treat us better. I wish things were easier. At the same time, it would not make us as strong moms, as strong women as we are if we were giving a different path. My passion is to actually help and support any women with any assistance, and most importantly, mental health, because a lot of times, a lot of us are afraid of speaking out and, you know, getting abused and feeling ashamed. And this is the reason we are here. We are actually here to help, to support whatever we need. You can reach out to any one of us. As you can see, we have expertise everywhere. So that way, one way or the other, one of us can make you feel better about whatever that situation is that you are currently going through. And thank you, Dr. Reed, for inviting me today. And definitely, as a woman, I'm learning to breathe again.
Aren't we all breathing again? Yes, we are all breathing again. Um, wow. So before we move forward, just on that note that you were saying right now, Dr. Ann, why don't we take a moment to breathe right now and we'll show the woman that's watching us tonight to take a moment. Let's just take a deep breath and then we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we release. Okay? So let's try it right now. Let's go. Again, release. Let's try it again. Take a deep breath. Hold it. And release. Release all the way. Release all the way. I release all my fears. I release all my pain. I release all my shame. I release everything that tells me in my mind that I am not good enough. I release all the stress of the past. I release the pain I had endured. I release it right now. I am free. I am free right now. And so here we are. Thank you so much. So this is what you do. Every time it's too much for you in life, you just take a deep breath. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You release it. Release. Push this air all the way out and do it again. And you do it again. So you should feel better because that's how it works when we take deep breath. Because when we are going through, what happens is we do not breathe. We just hold our breath and continue to move, continue to move. But when we take a minute to be present in our body, that's what we are learning, to be present in our body. That's why we breathe. And I'm so glad we are the Woman Breathe Again Holistic Center. Now, I know this month of April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So the conversation is going around. Conversation. Everybody is having conversation. And it's needed. We have to talk about it because too much going on. And when we don't talk, we hold it in. Then there is a possibility that you may bleed on somebody else that did not hurt you. So, as women, we have to learn to redirect our feelings, redirect the childhood trauma, and bring them in forward, right here. Bring them right here to the center. So you deal with it heads on. But I know it's tough, it's hard, it's difficult. So let's talk about it tonight. Ladies, from your experience or professional work, what does Sexual Assault Awareness Month mean to you? So anybody can really answer. So we're having a conversation now.
For me, as a massage therapist and educator, I see how trauma can make a person feel like a stranger in their own skin. This month is a dedicated space to say, we see you, we believe you, and there is a path back to feeling safe in your own home, which is your body. So April is about breaking the silence that trauma imposes on the body. And as a massage therapist, again, people don't realize that there's a book called The Body Keeps Score, and people don't realize that the trauma you experience, it's held in the body. And sometimes when I massage people and I have intuition that they are experiencing this, I give all of my clients permission to release whatever feeling it is that they're experiencing. Because I said I start off with a disclaimer. If you feel you need to cry, laugh, fart, whatever the case may be, just let it go. Don't hold on to nothing, because what's going to happen is if you try to hold on to it, then you tense up in the session. And so I allow my clients to just let go completely.
Okay. Ray, can you define sexual awareness, sexual assault to us?
So I I believe that sexual awareness and sexual assault has a lot to do with um being educated about your body, being educated about consent, uh learning what permission feels like, and take like learning how to claim the space that your soul occupies as your own.
So, Anushka, what do you think? So we are in this space here, in there's trauma all over the world. So,
Well, That is true, and especially in nowadays, lately, it seems to amplify with social media having bringing us other people's news 24/7. So I'm just wondering, what does let's leave it to our guests. I think we're beginning something great, that the body keeps scores. So that seems to be a book that is recommended for everybody, because it seems there's a lot of tips that can be based on the title. A lot of people can learn. So I'll leave it to the guests and to kind of let us know what is it that's important that you think your body is saying to you. Anybody could answer that.
I recently started to do a talk called The Body Talks, Are You Listening? And most people do not pay attention to the nonverbal cues that the body is displaying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for people who are victims of any kind of trauma, they have to be reminded that they need to get reconnected with their own bodies and to begin to pay attention and listen.
Mm.
Okay. 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 So, Dr. Ann, why is it important that we continue having open conversation about sexual violence today? Why do you think that's important?
Sadly, this is becoming more important because of what just happened. We have to learn how to not ignoring the cues.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Sexual violence, domestic violence, emotional, physical, they don't happen in one day. It's a continuous pattern. The more you're allowing it, the worse it gets. Um, it's very hard not to mention what just happened a few days ago.
Recording in progress.
Because last week I was actually at an event with her, and not knowing that was going to be the last time I've ever seen her. It's a shocking thing in our community. We are talking about mental health. Mental health, we need to address it. We need to understand it. We need to practice it. However, most of us are professionals. We are the worst ones to go to a therapist because we are so afraid of what people are going to say. Oh my God, my status, my colleagues, my job, my kids. We are the worst one to seek for help, even though we are the one telling people that they need to address their issues. Sexual abuse is no means no. A lot of our partners do not understand. Even though I am your wife, I can still tell you no. And you have to respect me, my feelings, and my body to walk away. Any forceful reaction after that, it could consider an abuse or an assault. So, and we as women, we also tend to make excuses. Oh, it's my fault. I'm the one who started this. I shouldn't. Most of the time, no, it's not your fault. So, number one thing is now, more than ever, we have to pay attention to the cues, the tone of the voices, the body reactions, the facial expressions. They all mean something. A man doesn't have to beat you for you to be abused.
My God.
Mm.
The emotional violence is the worst. because you sleep with that. You go to sleep, you start having nightmares every time you think about it. You think about the words that this person just told you. And a lot of time they're manipulating you into believing whatever that they are saying is right when it's not. We
Mhm.
have to understand when it's time to walk away. Walking away is not a weakness. It's actually a strength that can save your life.
So you're actually touching upon the emotional, how it can affect the physical.
Yes.
Indeed, indeed.
And the physical can also affect the emotional and the mental aspects of it.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay.
So, welcome, Dr. Joe. What are some common myths or misconception about sexual abuse that need to be corrected? Introduce yourself and if you will answer this question first.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm a former psychologist. I'm a holistic coach, and I help women process their trauma and release shame so they can thrive in their personal and professional lives. So, one of the misconceptions that is huge is that when a person is incapacitated, whether by drinking or whatever, and they don't have the means to say, they don't say no, that is not sexual assault when actually it is. So consent has to be a verbal or obvious thing. And a lot of times, and also people who have been sexually abused as children or otherwise, there's a response called fawn, which is they are not able to say no because of this. It's a protective response where they learn to please the person, the perpetrator.
Right.
So not only are they not, it's like the freeze response, but it's actually
Mhm.
more of a pleasing the person. So it might even look like they're wanting, that they're consenting, but it is not. In their mind, they're saying no. So a lot of time, because they're blaming themselves and they're thinking, well, I have to, it's basically kind of like, well, here we go again. So, and really what happens is the brain has shut off, the frontal lobes have shut off, and they're activating just the primal part of their brain, which is just basically saying, do what's in front of you. So that's a really big thing to mention. I think understanding what trauma does to the brain is important, and we don't
Mhm.
really talk about that aspect of it.
Mhm.
Another misconception is that it is women's fault. There's a lot of backlash from Me Too, like, well, women are asking for it, because they flirt and they do this and that, and the way they dress, that's bullshit. That no, that's not an excuse for men to say that it's the way that we dress or the way that we act. Women are not asking to be raped. Women are not asking for that kind of behavior. And I think another thing too is that you can be raped in a marriage. Yes, that happens, and that's legit. Um, we don't owe men sex just because we're married. That's not how it is. And that's something that I teach a lot of women about, how to talk about with their partners about sex. And when I suggest that when you're doing healing from sexual abuse or assault, that you take at least 6 months off of sex completely, at least. And some partners have a problem with that. And I tell them, well, we have conversations about that. So that is an important piece too. Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Dr. Reed.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say about that, Ray?
I think that there might be a misconception around domestic violence, and when people are in relationships, they might feel their family or their friends or other people looking in on the situation might think that it's easier to leave
Mhm.
because they don't necessarily understand this cycle of gaslighting. And after an offense, typically people will soften up to get you to trust them again.
Oh,
And I find often that people who are trying to regain their own sense of self-worth and confidence have to undo the programming of the person that they're kind of trapped in that situation with, while also like building a safe and quiet structure so that they're able to do so. So if you know somebody who's going through this, or if you're going through this, it's natural to kind of have cycles when that's involved. You're not failing if you didn't leave fast enough. Your friend or family member is not trying to stay on purpose. A lot of times they're fighting themselves internally, and you might not witness that or realize that right away. But I think it's really important for women to support each other in whatever phase of these toxic relationships that sometimes they end up in.
Oh, well, thank you so much for clearing this up, because this is like a common thing that you experience when you want to help a loved one. Now we're going to go into, we're going to ask this to Sabine DeSouza. Uh, what do you think? What does it mean? What does sexual trauma, what does it affect on a woman emotionally, mentally, and also physically?
So mentally, emotionally, physically, what happens is the body is storing all of that and people are internalizing it. And the word says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever it is that you believe is what the mind says is true, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when it comes to trauma, the body's under stress. And when you go into that stress cycle, you enter into that fight or flight response. And so most traumatic survivors, trauma survivors, they are sympathetic dominant, meaning that fight or flight does not shut off. So they're in that constant fight or flight response because they don't feel safe in their own skin, right? And so
Wow.
when Dr. Reed mentioned breathing, what breathing does is it wakes up the parasympathetic system so that the balance can begin to take place again, because the body has the ability to heal itself, right? And it just needs to be in position to do so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, emotionally, Dr. Joe, emotionally, how does trauma, a woman who have lived through that trauma, how does it affect them?
It affects a woman on many levels. First of all, their sense of self and self-esteem is shattered. Often the shame is probably the biggest piece, I think, and shame can be sort of the core of all mental illness. Shame is the sense of I am a bad person. And blaming, because of the assault happens, the woman blames themselves. And that sense of blame then leads to self-esteem problems, self-confidence problems, repeating behaviors, using different substances or any kind of eating disorders, anything to deal with the trauma or forget the trauma. It's often kept a secret, and secrets equal shame. They often don't don't talk about it. So then this is an act of repressing or suppressing of the trauma. There's also behavioral changes which affect the emotions, such as isolation, withdrawal.
Right.
They may not be able to carry out their everyday tasks the way they used to, so maybe have job trouble, or if they're parents, that can be really difficult. If they're, if it happens to a young person, then that affects their education, the trajectory of their life. A lot of different social and interpersonal things happen. People who are sexually assaulted sometimes end up being very promiscuous because it's an attempt to control, or rather gain control over what happened to them, or they can become asexual. So that can go either way, both having consequences. Yeah, so those are just some of the things. In terms of physical, there can be, well, eating disorders is one example of physical, but there can also be things like vaginismus, which is a vaginal disorder, not disorder, but a problem where there's pain when you have sex.
Right.
Yeah, and things like that. So,
It's a lot. It's a lot.
yeah.
What's your take on that, Anne, Dr. Anne? What's your take on that, Dr. Anne?
There's like Sabine said, the body has the ability to heal itself, but you are kind of like the controller of that body. You also have to help that body heal itself. Certain things, certain people, certain behaviors, you have to learn step by step how to move away from that. Because a lot of times staying in the same environment is really not helping you moving forward, or even to even notice that abuse is abuse. Because a lot of time you get so used to it, you don't even know what it is anymore, unless somebody else can define it to you. The thing is, the education is there. I still think we have a lot more to teach about the signs. Um, and once again, we also have to find a way to also address the perpetrators, because a lot of these things we're coaching women on, the men don't know about.
Wow.
So if they
Mm.
don't know, how would they know how to treat us better? So
Also,
Mhm.
we also have to teach the men too. Listen, even though you're married to her, even though you want it, even though you might think she wants it, but you still have to, this is how you ask for it. And if she says no, then it's no. Because right now we're going one-sided. Yeah, we can do all of these things that we're trying to do with women, but most of these women are not doing that to themselves. Somebody else is. So we also
Okay.
have to pass the same information to the guys too, so they
Right.
can know, listen, this is sexual abuse. This is the definition. And these are some of the actions. And I am sure some of them gonna be like, oh my God, I am so sorry. I've been doing that wrong all this time. So we
right.
have to teach the men too.
Okay. So this takes me, ladies, this takes me back to communities, right? What can communities or families and organizations do to prevent sexual violence? What can we do, and where do we start? Because right now, with what just happened in our community, we are questioning, okay, are we doing what we are supposed to do? Are
I
we shedding light on
Mhm.
these issues enough? Because some
I,
said that, give me a moment, some said that the women are afraid to talk. If she's being violated, she is afraid to talk. So I'm thinking communities, there are issues that communities, we have to, leaders, there is a way that we have to start talking about how to prevent violence. I mean, your is off. So who's gonna,
I
how,
would
ladies? Mhm.
I think it starts in sex education when children are in school. That's where it starts. I mean,
Okay.
we have this notion of teaching abstinence and the parts, which is ridiculous. Kids already know that stuff and they know about sex. What we teach is consent, how to ask for consent at each
Okay.
level, at each stage, right? And then we have in my community in Minneapolis, we have men's groups, men's basically they're like women's circles, but they're men's groups, men's emotional intelligence groups, and they talk about things like this. So I think there needs to be a movement in that direction.
Very good.
Like mhm.
I
It's
want to
very
bring,
good. It's nice to see that you in Minneapolis people are doing something to make sure that the men understand. It's very good. And also in school, but also there's one thing that I remember my dad would say all the time. School is just there for you to go learn about certain things, book stuff. And it's at home that really the education is done. The education is done from mom and dad and how everybody in the family and whatever is, providing that the examples, the examples. So it's to me, it's very important that people go back and remember, and what they do at home really, it's an education they give into the kids, they pass it on. So, well, thank you for mentioning that, and definitely something to be
Could I
done.
add something? I heard
Absolutely.
I heard a sermon and they talked about the prey becoming the predator. And what
Mhm.
happens is when with trauma, especially sexual trauma, male or female, when we internalize that and we don't deal with it and we don't address it, we don't confront it, what
Yes.
happens is eventually we become the predator. So
That's
this
when
is
shame.
why, yeah. So this is why it
Mhm.
becomes an ongoing cycle.
Yeah, it's true because you can only pass on what you know, and usually trauma or sexual assault is very deep within someone when it happens to them, so they act it out. Thank you for
Yeah.
actually mentioning
Which I
that.
think, I'm sorry, which I think is important because the predators need treatment and help, right? We need to talk
Hmm.
about that aspect of it too, and not pretend that that's not happening. Because once someone is labeled a sexual offender, it's bad, bad, bad person. We don't care about them anymore. Well, they
Uh-huh.
need help too, right? They're
Yes.
not just a
Otherwise,
bad person.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
that's very good. Thank you for mentioning that, Dr. Joe.
Going back to Dr. Reed, and this is part of what I was saying. So the as far as our community is concerned, our community need to dedicate a little bit more time to for coaching, for educating, for supporting, for pushing, for men to be able to do group psychoeducational groups about mental health, about all of these definitions. And I think Tyler said the same thing. It's just like um, education is at school, formation is at home. We form our kids how to be.
Yes.
Education is very easy. You go to school, you learn, you take the books, you get whatever's in the books. But formation is more than that. Just like you have a baby, you were there from the beginning, teach them how to speak and how to walk. So it's kind of like the same thing. And as a community, we need to invest a little bit more time into these males, because maybe the reason they are treating women the way they are treating women because they don't know any better. So now it's our job as a community as a whole to let them know, look, you can still relearn new information that would surpass whatever that you've gone through. And once again, we have to address childhood trauma, and a lot of people never grow up from that. And they'll carry on into life carrying the same trauma and start redirecting their brain into thinking, oh, this is the way I'm supposed to be based on my previous experience, which, your brain is a very powerful thing. And Dr. Joe can tell you, you can actually rewiring a lot of things with a lot of help, and it can be done if you really want it to be done. So the same way you can push to learn new information, positive information, is the same way you can actually learn how to erase some of the past. Yeah, of course, not everything you can get over, but there's a way you can actually teach new things for a better life in the future for you and for everyone's around you.
I
So
can.
as a community, we definitely need more mental health place. I mean, group therapy and all of that. That way that they can see too. I'm not the only person going through it. And it's sad sometimes, even at my age, now I'm asking a 16-year-old about relationship, because the relationship I knew then, even when I was going to school for therapy, it's a brand new relationship now. Because now they have different codes for different things, different cultures. And of course, us as women, we have evolved. The way relationship used to be 50 years ago, it's
Yeah.
not the same now. Once again, now we do have a voice. I can tell my husband no, And I truly means no. But then again, he still went back 50 years back, where I'm the man of the house, whatever tell you that's what you do. That's including that. And of course, you have people quoting the scriptures, about all of these things. We also have to push the church.
Yeah.
So how
It's
do
not
you
okay. It's not okay for a man to put his hand on somebody. It doesn't matter what it is. It will never be okay for you to take somebody else's life just because you, whatever the thing is, it's not okay.
it's
This
not
church
okay.
has to stop telling these women to try to make it work.
And
Maybe the
how
time expires. The time
what do you
has expired. Let it go. Just
Okay.
move on. So we as a community, starting with the church, because a lot of people go to church, they believe the pastor. Okay, so starting with the church, we have a lot of reconstructing to do
Um,
mentally, even with our brain wiring. We have to take the time to actually disconnect, try to reconnect in a more positive vibe and a respectful vibe, because a lot of these men do not respect these women's feelings. That's the reason sexual abuse occur,
Right.
because you don't respect my feelings. When I tell you no, I mean no. So the moment you touch me or you try to do otherwise, that's being disrespectful. That's being you disregarding my feelings, my
Right.
right as a woman, when I can tell you no, not today.
Right. Okay. So let me there is something that we mentioned as we are exploring ways for men to learn, starting from the church, men to learn to respect women's body. Now, there is another issue that came up to mind. It's that what if these men witnessed abuse at home growing up? Nobody knew that, because that, I believe, the conversation have to start that way. It's like, have you experienced anything like that early on in the relationship? Because if the men, because so far they have not explained to us how, or show us how men take care of their trauma.
I don't think we've taken the time to help men take care of their trauma. So when Dr. Ann was talking, having trauma informed care for the men is necessary, but
Yes.
for all of us.
Right. Yeah, I believe couples should have therapy specifically to control, to see their anger management. It's very important in relationships, and it's very important. So where do we start? How do you suggest we start with this? Because one thing I know is that as women, we are not the one teaching the men. They will not respect that. They already don't respect us. Who do you think will start this?
I actually worked with men who had trauma, and it worked. I mean, men are able to do the same kind of healing work that women do. So
Good.
I think, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. I think a lot of men are doing therapy and doing coaching, and increasingly, I think it's not as much of a stigma for
taboo?
men to seek help. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm really encouraged by that.
I
I
Good.
think
think that.
that
Mhm. No, go
sorry.
ahead.
I think that something that's really, really important to start doing as we all grow and heal individually is speaking up and reframing our personal experiences, pointing out the resilience that it kind of has helped us grow with. The more that we speak out about things that have happened to us that we overcame, we give inspiration to other people who are still in the middle of it. There is an experiment called the Richter effect, and it had to do with rats having a longer lifespan when they had hope. So to show that you got out, to show that you're on the other side, show that you can go through these things and um, continue on life, even though you have your adversities and your obstacles, it can also destigmatize and break the shame that's attached to it. And I think that the more people speak up about this, the more common it will, like, the more people will understand how statistically likely it is. I believe it was like 1 out of 4 women at least that has had this type of experience. And so the more of us that do speak up on these things, then the more men and the more women and everyone in between will understand how common it is, and the shame will break, and it won't carry so much weight and power over people as much as it does when it's a secret.
Correct. And to piggyback on what you're saying, we know the statistics for women because women speak up,
Yes.
but we don't know the statistics for men because of the taboo, because of the shame, because of
They,
it's not
yeah,
cool.
they encourage them from little. We their mother even encouraged them, if they are speaking too much or expressing themselves too much, we don't even touch them after a certain number of time, because they're supposed to be men, or don't speak, because you come across as if you're a woman because you're talking too much and things like that. And many of times we find that men themselves went under sexual assault, and they don't speak about it. So yeah, what would you suggest that indeed to protect those children? What is it a better way to protect them? And whether the children, the teens, even adults, especially those who are trafficked. Dr. Ray, would you help us with that?
Repeat that question.
Um, how can we better protect the children they growing up into how can we protect them from sexual assault?
I
Okay.
think
Go
it's
ahead.
basically conversation,
Yes. Mhm.
and letting them know what's okay, what's not okay. Like good touch, bad touch. Like someone
Mm-hmm.
touches you here, that's not okay. Someone touches you here, okay. It's like they need to know good touch, bad touch. And
Mm-hmm.
if it's bad touch, what to do about it.
Yes. I concur. Because I was about to say the same thing as well. It's like it starts with conversation and trust in the family. There has to be trust. You have to establish trust within the family. So when something do happen, the child can come to you. It's very, very important. And what we see out there now, it starts home. The boy starts acting up, and the father or mom, they're not checking on them. And the girls, something happened to her, and nobody can see that. When a girl is going through something, first of all, she may be withdrawn. She is not showing up. She is not socially active. She doesn't want to go anywhere. When you see your child doing that, your daughter doing that, this is a sign that something is happening. If she starts eating a lot, these are signs that there is something going on in the mind of the child. If you come in their room and you notice that they're not sleeping, they're still awake, or they're staying late, this means staying late in bed. This means also something is going on. They're not getting the full rest that they're supposed to get. So conversation starts at the crib. At the crib. You don't wait till they're 8 years old to start. It starts
Amen.
at the crib, where you emphasize, like Sabine said, what is good, what is bad. And you have to teach them the trust that they need, so they can come to you when something goes wrong. Because trust me, there are so many perverts in the world right now. You have to have 4 eyes to literally look into what's going on to your child, to your daughter. So, what can we do? We need to start teaching. We need to start having groups of women that they know, they learn, because the young generation don't know that, because it's more social media.
Mhm.
But for us old folks in the past, we had parents that sat us down and to teach us, what we're supposed to be doing. But right now, parents have to do two jobs, and they are very busy. But we have to come up with ways to teach these parents.
It's funny because
I think
what you're saying right now, in our parents' days, it took a village. It wasn't just the parent, the whole community was involved. So if we go back to that, instead of minding our own business and understanding that you are my business, then I think it will make a difference.
Is that possible?
In
Something
today's age.
another thing too is being aware of who your children are with and where, and not trusting necessarily neighbors, or being aware of people that your children are with, and not trusting necessarily family, because a lot of incest is the primary sexual
Oh
abuse.
my God.
Yeah. And so we don't understand that, and we just assume family is family and they're safe, but that's not the case always. So that's one thing to be aware of.
Something else that I think is really important to mention is correct anatomically words. I've in recent things that have been released, there's been a lot of cases where victims of childhood assault did not have the correct words to use, and therefore the legal cases were not prosecuted to the full extent because they used their own interpretation of what happened in the situation, and it because of the baby-like words that they have been using, or that their parents might have been comfortable with using, it wasn't legally incriminating. So I think it's really important to teach proper terminology for body
Yeah.
parts, so that in the worst case scenario, they have the chance to see justice.
That also takes away shame from the words, so that's another reason to do that. Good point.
Definitely. Wow. So that's what we okay. So now, outside of what I mentioned as far as signs, can you guys elaborate on some other signs? Because one thing we want to talk about today is the sexual assault can have many forms. Many forms. There are many ways. We do have trafficking. We do have incest, like we talk about, right? Those are those are various ways that um, people can get assaulted. There is child abuse. There is also abuse happening at work, where women, if you don't do that, you will be fired. So there are issues that we want to deal with. You guys want to elaborate on that? Do you remember any stories, anything that you can elaborate on that?
I don't remember who mentioned it, but most girls, when they are violated, in order for them to take back that control, become promiscuous.
Yeah.
And so the promiscuity, even though she's promiscuous, is because now she's making a choice who violates her, right? And then on top of that, some women, they become bisexual or same sex, right? And you have to pay attention to how they're dressing, because if they weren't wearing baggy clothes and now they're wearing baggy clothes all of a sudden, is because they're having a body image problem, right? And so they're not comfortable in their own skin anymore. They don't want to be seen. They're hiding, they're running, right? And so we need to be able to pay attention to those nonverbal cues that are being displayed. Because
eating.
Go ahead.
95% of eating disorder have experienced sexual abuse. It's a very high number.
I believe that's your specialty, Dr. Joe. Talk about it. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I was first hospitalized with anorexia at age 12. So I'm a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and assault later. So it's And one thing about eating disorders is it's not about food and it's not about trying to be thin. It is about survival. It's about numbing emotions. And it's about, for me, it was about trying to disappear and, you know, call for help too. Like something is wrong and nobody's noticing. And not be, and I didn't even have memories at that point. I just knew that I needed to escape my body. Something wasn't right. And so there's very much a correlation there. And I think, and my sister had bulimia, and we talked about the difference. And with anorexia, it's kind of like refusing to insert something into your body and refusing love. And with bulimia, it's kind of like rage, like an expression of rage. But both very, very much. And with eating, sometimes it's about creating a shield with your body so that you don't have maybe not as much perpetrator attention. So there's all kinds of reasons. And the same with anorexia, creating a boy-like body. So there's all kinds of reasons. But you had mentioned something about signs. And another huge one is bedwetting, whether that's the child bedwetting or sometimes
Yes.
adults will wet the bed.
Mm.
So that's another thing to be aware of. Mm-hmm. And any kind of urinary problems, frequent urine infections or whatever, the bladder infection, things like that. It's also another sign. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow.
Is
If I
that,
can just, sorry,
go ahead. Is that
if I
part
can
of the
just,
reason sometimes that the children can be protecting a loved ones by not speaking up? Maybe they don't want the person get into trouble.
Absolutely. And often they're threatened, if you say something, this will happen. And if it's a
Mhm.
family member, the whole family can be torn up. Right. I mean, and
Mhm.
it can be very messy and they're not believed. Oftentimes, children, if it's in the family, let's say it's a parent, the mother will want to protect the father. And so the child is not believed. And then imagine what that's like.
Oh, what a life. So that's why when we come back, ladies, we're going to talk about healing. We're going to talk about
Mm-hmm.
different modalities, different ways we can help survivors of sexual assault. And that can be from various aspects, various stages in life that women can be assaulted in their life. And even pregnant women get assaulted also.
Mm-hmm.
So much happening in our community, and healing is needed. And I believe every one of you in your company, in your organization, you are already doing this work. But what I'm saying this evening, what we are saying to everyone this evening, is that you need to reach to someone if you feel like you can't take it anymore. You can hold on to that hurt anymore. It's important to know that we are here. Sabine is here. Rachel is here. Dr. Joe is here. Dr. Ann is here. We are here, right? Anushka is here. And it's a safe space. You have to find the people, the women that you can trust so you can share that with. Because, again, I'm going to say it. It is not easy to share your story. People will talk about you, people will have a say so, people will judge you. In a community, if you come out and tell what you've been through, people have a category they're going to put you in. They will judge you. And that's the reason why a lot of women choose not to share. And this has to be better. I cannot say this has to stop, but this has to be better. We have to open up some way, an avenue, a space for women to be able to come and talk to us, and for us not to judge them,
Mm-hmm.
because people are suffering from various reason, various reason. People are suffering, women are suffering. I was able to share today with Dr. Joe some of mine that I went through and that I got healed from. And I shared with many of you because I didn't just came up with the Woman Breathe Again Holistic Center. I came from something. I
Yep.
experienced something. And now I develop the compassion to help other women.
Mm-hmm.
Again, ladies, this is the Woman Breathe Again Holistic Center. We are taking a break and we will be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back. This was a nice break. We had time to look on the many social media pages that we are live on, and we're gonna bring you the questions that people are asking, and also discuss what was said and address it. So, what did you see, ladies?
I'm seeing
Well,
some.
let me start with the healing part, I guess. Um, my analogy is that you don't have to wait until your car is completely on E to put gas in it. A lot of time we keep running and running and running until we're completely out of gas. But you have to learn at one point you need to stop, take a pause, refuel so you can continue to move in. Healing starts with you as a person outside of everything else. Sometimes you have to put all of the titles down. You have to put all of the responsibilities down to finally find yourself again. And whatever that belief, strong beliefs that you have, you definitely have to use it for your own availability, things that will actually make you be better. And a lot of women need to go back from to the boards again. Who am I?
Yes, yes. Okay,
They
what
have
are
to
the
go back to that.
right? We have to go back. Yes, it's important. Do you see anything, Ray, on the web, on the social media? Do they have any
So
questions for us?
I see a lot of agreeing with addressing our men and fathers, with having these discussions in communities like churches as well, and having these discussions at home because we can't necessarily assume that the educational system is going to be doing that for us.
Right, that makes sense. Did you see
Absolutely.
anything, Dr. Joe?
I'm sorry, I missed that. Were you asking
Did you see
about?
anything on social media? Yeah, on social media.
I didn't see the. I didn't see the
Okay,
social media.
no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so now listen, until somebody asks another question, let me ask you this. Okay, so what does healing look like for survivors? And how can it begin? Okay, in your practice, every single one of you have a way that you are helping women heal. So, in your practice, what one modality that you use that can help women begin again, help women breathe again, help
Mhm.
women start that healing process?
Mhm.
I
So
use. Oh
go ahead.
no,
I do
you.
like a body talks workshop, right? And having someone do like a butterfly hug
Yes.
where they are tapping themselves to be
Hmm.
aware of themselves, to be present, to be
Yes.
Mhm.
to just get back into their own skin kind of like thing. Because again, as we were talking, a lot of victims want to run away. They disconnect from the body. They don't want to be a part of this body because it's being
Okay.
violated. So to bring them back into the body, we're bringing awareness. Like, okay, we have to address this, right? And we have to confront it, and it's okay. This happened. It's not my fault. Um, I was not the author of this, but I will finish this. Like just taking ownership, taking back their bodies,
Yes. Yes.
reclaiming their bodies.
Yes. What is it, Joe?
I use a variety of different things. As a psychologist formerly, there's the talking through and processing the uh, the assault, and then I use a lot of somatic techniques, including shaking and tapping and things like that. I learned the somatic techniques. My body taught me them. I just started having seizures, and I didn't know what it was, but it was releasing because the trauma is stored in our tissue in our body. And I also do things like yoga and meditation and mindfulness and breath practice. The breath, as women who breathe, is very important. Regulating the nervous system is very important because that
Yes.
gets all out of whack, as someone mentioned. And so learning simple nervous system regulation is kind of where to start, because once that gets online, then the everyday functioning starts to work better. And it's really hard to do the processing in terms of talking about it until basic nervous system is functioning. So it's kind of it's a long process with a lot of different elements to it. But I
Right.
always have someone, like if they're seeing me, I believe in seeing a lot of healers or working with a group, doing that, and working with massage therapy, working with, doing as many modalities as you can, because it's
Right.
really a complex healing system. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. So how do you help women heal, Ray?
So one of the things that I like to use in my practice is something called shadow work, which was coined by Carl Jung. And it involves like recognizing patterns of thought and kind of tracing back the root of where those patterns of thought might have began. So a lot of times we talked about early childhood. So it could be something like, wow, I'm really feeling triggered by this. Why is this bothering me? What is that touching on? Where's the wound? And how can I take back ownership in a way that I understand I made the best choices I could at the time with the information I had, with my environment, and really kind of forgiving yourself as much as you can handle in that situation. If forgiveness doesn't have to be for other people, it can be for your own guilt and your shame about the situations you were in. And I think reflecting on your current emotional state and your current reactions can tell you a lot about what you're still carrying from the past.
That's good.
Thank
Understanding your
you.
triggers is
Thank
definitely
you.
key.
Thank you so much. Yes. Yes. You wanted to say anything else in regards to that, Sabine?
No, it's just a lot of times we're triggered and we don't know why. And so understanding your triggers and getting to the root of your triggers makes a big difference.
Okay. Do you have a way that you help women heal, Dr. Ed?
Well, in general, you have to understand the internal triggers and the external triggers, because you have to understand both. So that way you know exactly what you're doing. When it comes to helping clients, I like to use CBT. It's like a short-term and goal-oriented form of psychotherapy, which is focusing the same thing on changing negative thoughts, pattern, and behaviors. And what I do a lot of is technically, getting the person to know themselves first, getting themselves to understanding themselves, and also um build a different type of seed within you. For me, I had to do a lot of self-love. What is love is to me. Everyone has their own definition of whatever that is that they are going through, whether it's trauma, whether it's sexual abuse. It doesn't matter what it is. Every person has their own story behind it. And that's why sometimes they are able to make excuses for other people who are not treating them well. Um, Self-love include your sleeping, your eating habits, your friendship circles, the church that you go to, because you have to understand yourself on the point where you love yourself so much, where you're not going to allow anything outside of you control you. And a lot of time we don't do that as a person because we're not taking the time to invest in ourselves. And I love to do role play.
Mhm.
If somebody, your friend, come and tell you they were going through that situation, how would you help them? Because a lot of time we do know how to help people, but we are helpless when it comes to ourselves. So we have to be able to do that, to understand what self-esteem is, what self-respect is. And once again, you deserve to be happy.
Yes.
You deserve to be treated well. And also, you have to treat people well with
Yes.
respect. That's how you get respect back. So,
Okay.
and I also like to do meditation where you take the time for yourself. I tell everybody that I've met, you have to make time to spend at least 30 minutes with yourself, minding your own business, When I mean minding your own business, minding you business, your internal business. If you want to sleep, you sleep. If you want to listen to music, you listen to music. Anything that you can do to benefit you at this time. At least 30 minutes per day. No work, no kids, no husband, no friends, no phone, no nothing, just you.
I
Until
agree.
you find out who you are, what you are meant to be, we can try to do everything else. Nothing's gonna work
Right. And I agree with that. I agree with that.
because everything starts with you.
Mm-hmm. It starts with you, nobody else. I've come to understand that the people that don't want to be with themselves, they keep themselves very busy. And that's a sign to me that somebody is going through trauma. And that's how I identify it. When you keep yourself extremely busy until it's bedtime, that's a sign there is something going on that you're trying to avoid it. So, in personally, because I am herbalist, I involve herbal medicine in what I do. Okay, so therefore I have to talk because we have a garden. The organization have a garden. So in the garden, I teach how to eat, what to eat. We go back to the basic. Forget that processed food. Sometimes you have to get back to the basis. Not just that, you also have to look within yourself to see, okay, examine yourself, and then see where you need help. You have to see it, nobody else. You have to see it for it to change, because somebody can see that you are traumatized, you are going through something, but they cannot fix you. You have to be the one to be responsible to fix yourself. And from that point of view, I like to help women write in a journal, write how you feel, because that helps you release as well. I tell them about herbal teas. Herbal tea helps you calm your nervous system. So we're trying to reset the system while you are facing what you have been through. So this is what helps women, in my way of doing, the healing, helping them to understand where they come from, what is it that hurt them in their lives, and how they can go about it so they don't go and hurt somebody else. I don't know if you guys heard of the sister. There's a saying that mean sisters. I don't know if you've heard of it. The mean sisters.
Or
Okay,
the
mean
sister
mean
wounds.
girls. Mean girls.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Mean
There's
Girl.
yeah, mean girls. So it's a woman that she is bleeding on other women, and we don't want that. Selfishness come from that also. When you with gatekeepers, right? Gatekeepers, those that keep information. Those are signs that you have had lack somewhere, you had issues somewhere, and you cannot share with others. You cannot collaborate. Women that have issues with collaboration, all of that are signs of trauma. And trauma
Right.
can come from all areas of life. I don't know if Madam Anushka wanted to say something on this aspect here before we take off. Yeah.
Before she says something, um, I would encourage everyone to share their story. It's their story, right? And they don't have to share all of it, just pieces. Start off by saying something to someone, right? And give them a little bit to see how if what they could handle, right? Before you
Yeah.
just vomit the whole thing on them. Share, because um
Yes.
by them sharing their story, they're taking back and they're empowering themselves as well.
And when you
Right.
share your story, you also are giving the person permission to share theirs,
Yes.
Yes,
whoever you tell.
yes,
That's if
You're
it's
offering
mutual.
vulnerability so that they can then be vulnerable with you.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just want to remind everyone the body can heal itself. The body stores trauma, but it could also we could also strengthen ourselves by listening and paying attention.
Mhm.
Anushka,
Absolutely.
what's your take on this?
Oh, I'm just sitting back and learning from everyone. Ladies, this is a very, very potent uh, um, podcast because it has so many pieces for so many people to take in and be literally able to heal themselves, where they're not just listening to a podcast, but they actually can apply just about everything that is spoken tonight to actually to heal a part of you. So I'm very grateful to be amongst everyone here, and to all those listening, that you see that, sexual assault is not just an event that happened. It's something that that happened and that can echo back into the body, and it could affect your emotional state. It could affect your health in so many different ways. And yet those ladies just told you so many different ways that you could claim back that body. You could help erase some of those uh, uh, um, bad feelings that you feel about you, because someone just said something very powerful there. They said that you just don't like your body. Many of those ladies, after a while, they don't like that body and they don't want to be in it. But you need to get back into the body by actually learning to self-love. That's a way to erase the hurt. You don't need to stay hurt all the time. And part of the hurt, from what I'm listening very well, is shame. That's where most of the hurt. That's where most of the hurt come from the shame. So, but one of the thing is, someone else mentioned, don't wait until you are an E, completely where either suicidal, that's what I call E. I don't know what E would be to somebody else. Don't
Right.
wait until you get to that level to actually to go seek out for help. Talk to one person, say a little bit,
Okay.
and then you could see how the person handles it.
Okay.
Control your body. Those are some of the things that I hear. Claim back your body, reclaim your body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
From
Now, I wanted to say that Anushka, I wanted her to say that, but she did not say it. But she is a very good listener. This is her gift. She will
hmm
listen to you and not judge the situation. So she is our ear over here. When someone wants to, I don't know what kind of capacity this woman has. This is her gift herself. And I'm grateful to have her in the organization. I just wanted to let you know, guys, that I appreciate you. And Dr. Joe, thank you for joining the organization. Thank you, Sabine. Thank
My
you,
pleasure.
Rachel. Thank you. And you guys are amazing. And I also want to thank my son, Benjamin Paulus, who has been our administrator for the past 2, 3 years. And I just want to appreciate him out loud tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate your wife, Romina Paulus, who also allow you to do what you do best for us here on this platform here. And I just want to thank my grandbaby. Thank you so much, honey,
Mm.
that you let your daddy, come and steal. You we steal it from you. So thank you so much, guys. Before we leave, I
Thank you.
know we have like 5 minutes before we take off. I wanted to ask anybody, if anybody, okay. So what advice would you give right now? One few seconds. What advice would you give someone right now who is searching for someone to talk
Okay.
to?
I am here. I am here. I am here to listen. You cannot really judge. You cannot really help someone by judging them.
Yes.
Okay, and,
Yes.
well, at least for me, since I've been doing therapy, I've learned how to take the person out of the situation.
Yes.
And personally, it works for me as well. When
Right.
somebody comes strong at me, I already know it's not me. I didn't do anything to you. It just your vibe is too strong today. Your energy is like to the roof. So me, I'm gonna come down a little bit until
Mm-hmm.
and allowing you the time for you to reach the level that I'm on. Once
Absolutely.
again, mental health is real, abuse is real, but you can still have a good life past that hard time. You can
Yes.
still have a enjoyable sexual life after sexual abuse, because as long as you learn the right way to do things, then
Yes.
you don't have to endure the wrong ways anymore. So
Yeah.
and once again, my thing is everyone need to spend at least 30 minutes with themselves per day. Okay,
Yes.
workaholic, just like Dr. Reed said, it's a problem. There's a problem. You're spending so much time at work and less time with yourself inside your room in your robe and with other people that actually loved you and appreciate you. So mental health is real. Again, we see it going on. We ask everybody to reach out to somebody who will be listening to you. And this is what we do, what we do. This is why we put out a passion out here to help you, not so much to help me, but to help you. And in the process, I'm also helping myself
That's
because
right.
I know I'm making a difference in somebody else's life who's willing to share with me exactly what they are going through. And together we can work for a better outcome.
We have
Okay.
a minute to go. Someone else, 20 seconds.
Okay. Well, I just wanna, Joe, Dr. Joe, 2 seconds, three.
I was just going to say the healing you have within you, you have all the tools that you need, and someone can
Yes.
just hold the container for you. Healing
Okay.
happens.
Yes.
Okay. Ray, quick.
You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep anybody else warm, and you don't have to carry things that don't belong to you that happened to you.
That's it. That's it. Sabine,
Perfect.
30 minutes minding your
quick,
business.
quick.
Your
Yeah.
business.
Sabine.
Only because I'm a massage therapist. If touch is something you don't care for, a chair massage, you're fully clothed, you don't have to take nothing off, no oils involved, and then you'll be able to reorient yourself to the right kind of touch.
Thank
Mm.
you. Thank you.
Oh, by the
So
way, I tried Sabine. Sabine is very good, y'all.
she is.
Okay.
She is because
Very
she did
good.
it the other day.
She
Yes.
I
has
want
those
I
to.
just
magical hands. Okay.
Ladies, I just want to say thank you for being here with us. This is the Woman Breathe Again Holistic Center with you, host Dr. Margaret Reed, and all the people here, women here,
Thank you.
specialists in helping, specialists
Thank
in helping.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have a
Good
good night.
night.
Until next time, stay for part two.
Bye
Thank
Yes.
bye.
you.